the Hoosier National Forest. It's a place apart from the flattened cornfields and farmland Indiana's known for. A land rich in history, formed by intense glacial forces, it's one of the last truly wild places in Indiana. Inside, a deep chasm is forming between Forest Service managers, environmentalists, and area residents over a controversial project.
It's not until I really dig in and look at the facts myself, talk to those that are going to be impacted as much or more than I am, that I say, no way, this is not the right way to treat people. This is not the way to treat the environment.
Robbie Heinrich is one of many residents in this part of southern Indiana against the Buffalo Springs Restoration Project. It proposes to log more than 5,000 acres of trees near the family's home. Thousands more acres would be burned under the proposal. Herbicide treatments are also in the works. It's something critics think shouldn't be done on public land.
It's not fair, and it's not fair to the residents here that pay taxes just like everybody else. This is their forest. This is everybody inside Indiana that buys anything or works anywhere. This forest belongs to you.
But the Forest Service maintains cutting and burning those thousands of acres inside the forest are necessary to help preserve its overall health.
And so our forest is all pretty much the same age. We call it even-aged. So that's not good to have trees that are all the same age, because they're all going to, get old together, which isn't a bad thing in some part of the forest, but you want to have that diversity.
They say logging the project would help oak hickory ecosystems thrive, and that they're currently being overrun by trees less resilient to climate change, like beech. Environmentalist groups against the project argue the Forest Service doesn't have enough data to support their claims that a young forest, in which oak hickory ecosystems are prioritized, is better safeguarded against impending climate change stressors.
There's been a lot of research, and there's winners and losers tree species-wise.
It's extremely important to let nature sort that out, not to get in there and try to play God.
Environmentalist groups against the project argue the Forest Service doesn't have enough data to support their claims that a young forest, in which oak hickory ecosystems are prioritized, is better safeguarded against impending climate change stressors.
And every single one of those different kinds of trees has a whole different insect community, invertebrate community of bees, flies, wasps, beetles, true insects, different kinds of spiders that prey on each one of them, parasitic wasps that prey on each one of the different kinds of mollusks. Just in that species of tree, ants of all kinds. That makes the diversity of these temperate hardwood forests immense. And the Forest Service has never done a baseline survey of what the invertebrates are in these forests, or even just what all the creatures are in a tract of the Hoosier National Forest. They don't even know what's out here.
They say an old forest, one free from the disturbances of human hands, would be the healthiest forest.
What you want to do is let nature figure out which trees are going to survive and which aren't. And this is an incredibly important area of Indiana, because it's the only area where we have enough forests where you can actually let that play out. What they're trying to do is manage every acre of forest here like it's a little garden, and we want to determine the winners and losers.
They fear it could threaten the habitat of several endangered species who call the forest home, and nearby Patoka Lake, a source of drinking water for some 65,000 Hoosiers. Projects like the one proposed for Hoosier National Forest tend to draw controversy because the Forest Service does draw a profit from those cuts.
We don't do it for the money, like I said before, but we need to be sure it's something that is commercially sellable. So we do package it together to try to find something that someone will buy, so we can get that habitat creation done. I can just tell you from sales of the past, maybe about that 266 acre size, depending on the species, can sell from anywhere from $50,000 to $500,000, depending on what they are. But those are definitely the outliers.
But Thornton maintains the Forest Service is preparing for the future.
Where the Forest Service people, the specialists, are thinking like 100 years down the road, and what kind of stressors are happening to the forest now, and how can we set it up to be good for the next generation. So I think there's a lot of passion behind the project.
but it's a future residents like Heinrich fear if their vision goes through.
What scares me to death is if this, if we start logging it, all of a sudden people start getting a pretty bad taste in their mouth about, what they experienced at the Hoosier National Forest.